Oh, welcome ladies and gents. Another one bites the dust. Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy scrapped by Disney. I mean, look, who didn't see this coming? This was fairly apparent many moons ago. This is one in a long line and a long list of Star Wars projects that are announced come Investor Day or Star Wars Celebration. Something to get some buzz going, you know, really boost those stocks, shares, and then they get scrapped. And this is just another one. This follows such a long list of Star Wars projects that have just been canned. It's hilarious. Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Disney have hired more staff for their Star Wars projects than they have actually hired. It's not a revolving door. Star Wars projects get announced, hired, then they get fired, and then they don't get made. So, yeah, it's not like they get replaced. Anyway, let's check this out, ladies and gentlemen. This is from Small Screen. They have the exclusive on this. And they say, Rian Johnson has been tied to a new Star Wars trilogy for what feels like an eternity now. It was actually first announced by Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy before Star Wars The Last Jedi was released in cinemas. So that says a lot. That is bloody old. This has been announced for such a long time and has gone nowhere. You know, again, they are right in saying that it feels like an eternity that he's been touted as doing this Star Wars trilogy. And I couldn't put my finger on when. I couldn't remember when it was first announced. But yeah, before Star Wars The Last Jedi, Jesus. And it seems to me that Disney and Star Wars, Lucasfilm, they play a waiting game on cancellations. So they did this recently with Kevin Feige and Patty Jenkins movies. They'll announce something, it will be done, right? It will be dead. And then they will just wait it out. And then they'll eventually just think that people don't care enough, and then people will just go, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing that anymore, sorry. Oh, it fell apart. You know, like J.D. Dillard's fell apart, like Damon Lindelof's fell apart. Taika Waititi's rumoured now not to be doing that either. So many. And we've got another one here. They just play the waiting game. Because, again, they announce it purely to manipulate the market. Again, yeah, people were excited. And the other thing about this is, why would Rian Johnson do this when he's making insanely high amounts of dollars from Netflix? We're talking insane amounts of money from Netflix for his Knives Out films. Like, Daniel Craig alone got paid $50 million. $50 million. Jesus. So, yeah, Rian Johnson's not going to care. He's like, Lucasfilm, Kathleen, no, I'm just going to make these films. Cool. See ya. Bye-bye. So, what is it? Well, there's recent reports that Lucasfilm had scrapped Patty Jenkins' movie, as well as Kevin Feige's. Michael Waldron, the writer of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, had been tapped to pen the Kevin Feige script. However, that's not moving forward. Then Taika Waititi's looks to be cancelled as well. Damon Lindelof's is now cancelled. But yeah, Small Screen has now learned that... we learned that Lindelof has been gone anyway. But here's the thing. As per Rian Johnson's, anyway, this is the really interesting stuff. But yeah, Taika Waititi's, that looks to be cancelled as well, in fairness. So, what do Small Screen have to say about their sources? Well, according to their sources, it looks like Disney and Lucasfilm have decided to pull the plug on Rian Johnson's Star Wars trilogy. Now, they aptly note here it shouldn't really come as a surprise. I mean, it's not a surprise. Mainly because there's been no movement on it. This is the thing. When it comes to Star Wars, if they announce something and nothing, you literally hear nothing, it's done. They've announced it purely to manipulate markets. The last I've heard, Disney has given Rian Johnson's trilogy the axe, an insider said about Rian Johnson's trilogy. Now, this is the interesting part. They say it's been problematic for Disney and Lucasfilm, as they love Rian Johnson and his work, but they just cannot get past the fans' poor reaction to The Last Jedi. Apparently, both parties are in agreement that the best thing to do was to move on and part ways. So, I mean, look, mature, I guess. Well, I say that. It's not really mature from Lucasfilm. I'm never going to give them the benefit and say that they're mature. But, allegedly, they love Rian Johnson and his work, but they can't get past the fans' poor reaction to The Last Jedi. And we're not seeing J.J. Abrams tied to anything either. So maybe they're learning. Maybe they're learning. But I also think a certain amount of this will be from Bob Iger going, look, Kathleen Kennedy, can you stop announcing stuff? And there was even rumours about that recently, albeit probably about 6 months ago now, that she has specifically been told not to announce anything again because they just keep announcing stuff and nothing happens. Now, I think what'll happen from here, obviously we've got Star Wars Celebration in what, like a week and a half, 2 weeks? That's in the UK. It's Star Wars big convention, basically, where they announce a whole bunch of stuff, generally speaking, where all these things keep getting announced, and then they never make it to the screen. I'm sure there'll be some more announced, maybe some confirmation that things are done, cancelled, dead, who knows. But that'll be the really interesting part, is to see whether they address anything there. I doubt they will, as an FYI. But again, Rian Johnson, he's cleaning up with his Knives Out films. And Rian Johnson is actually helping Netflix massively. So they're pushing, or Rian Johnson is pushing Netflix to start to release things over in theatres. So Rian Johnson is essentially leading Netflix along in the best course that they've taken for quite some time. But why would he come back to Star Wars? Why would you? He's working on a script for a third Knives Out movie. He's going to be an executive producer on Netflix's The Three Body Problem. It's like a sci-fi series. That looks to be pretty decent. He also created, wrote and directed Peacock's new limited series Poker Face. So he's doing really well for himself. Now, I don't, small screen, so it's depressing to hear Johnson would be working in Star Wars Galaxy. I disagree. I think it's fine. I think his commentary on all of this is fine. I mean, he even said, it would break my heart if I were finished, if I couldn't get, in that sandbox at some point. But I think this is good. This is what he used to be saying. Then he's like, oh yeah, it's a matter of scheduling and when it can happen. I've talked to Kathy about it, and we're still talking about it. I had such an amazing experience making The Last Jedi. It's entirely a matter of scheduling for me. Putting glass on out of the, making the next one. The answer is, I don't know. So they're just sort of slowly whittling it down. His statements get more and more negative as he goes on. And this is the thing, they play the waiting game. And then they just eventually go, yeah, now it's done. That was done like 5 years ago. And why would you? Why would you come back to it? Who cares? He's making so much money with the Knives Out stuff, and he seems to genuinely enjoy it. So this isn't me ragging on Rian Johnson. There's enough videos out there about that. But allegedly he is done. This is done. They parted ways. What do you think? I think this is best for him as well as for Star Wars, in fairness. I don't think this is just this is a good fit for one person. This is best all round. But I think Star Wars needs to, Lucasfilm, Kathy, KK, needs to pull a finger out of her ass and actually announce something and, shock horror, make it. So, yeah. Let me know what you think down below. Hit subscribe, give the video a like and a share. Take care.